Hi, this is a follow along morning cars routine. You can also use the same video for your warm up, but just make sure that in your warm up, you make it medium to high tension cars. You can skip this video. I will be tagging it, time tagging it. You can skip it to the start of the cars. But if you're watching this for the first time, there are a few things that I would like you to know. In this video, I will be doing 5 reps of cars on each side with each joint. You can make it 3 also, dependent on the time that you have. I also encourage you to see the instructional video with full explanation specifically for shoulder and hip cars. And in this video, I will be talking only a little bit about the technique and the form because it is meant to be a follow along video. Okay, let's get started. Place your hips slightly wider than hip width apart. You're going to have tension throughout your arms. The shoulders are going to remain down. We are starting with cervical cars, neck cars. So you can watch the first rep and then do a follow along. You're going to bring your chin to the chest. Move towards your right side. Chin continues to remain close to the chest and the shoulder as much as possible. Drop the head towards the side. So that's like a side bend. Create that nice big circle. Come onto a side bend on the other side. Move the chin to the chest and rack back the spine up. Okay, let's do 5 on each side. Once again, a reminder that if this is your morning cars, you may want to go low tension. Second rep. But if this is a warm up for your workout, you may want to go medium to high tension. Third rep. 4. Increase the range as you go higher into the reps. Your 4th and 5th rep ideally, and now we do the 5th rep, has to be in the most outer range that you can have. Okay, let's go towards the left side now. If there is any pinchy area in your neck or any other joint rotation, second rep, you may want to go a little outside of that pinchy zone, which means go in a lesser range. Third, try to keep the shoulders nice and down. 4. If there is any point where you want to stop the video and feel the stretch, please do so. Maybe there is a tension of certain tissue where you want to stretch more, you can absolutely do that. All right, rack the spine back up. We are now going to work on the rest of the spine. So watch 1 rep and then you can follow along. You're going to place your hands on the shoulder. I'm going to move to the side. You're going to, without using the pelvic or the hip, you're going to round off your thoracic spine. Start traveling towards the right side. Again, nothing in the pelvic or the shoulder. It's just your thoracic and a little bit engagement from your lumbar spine. Get into a side bend. Avoid pushing the hip forward, of course. Get into a mini back bend and then traveling to the other side. Now, drop the top shoulder down. Come back to the starting point and rack up the spine. Okay, we're going to go for 5 on the right and 5 on the left. Let's begin. Core engaged. Keeping the hips in place. Travel towards the right side. Hold at that point. Then lift that shoulder up. Now you are into a side bend. Continue with a back bend. Side bend on the other side. Drop the top shoulder down. Travel forward. Rack back. Let's do that second time. You can slightly speed up if you have got an understanding of how and what angles the thoracic spine moves into. Third. 4. You can absolutely go at your own speed. When I finish my 5 reps, maybe you are able to get in 3 or 4. Totally fine. I assume that's 5 reps. Let's do the other side. Controlled articular rotations. Just as the name suggests, these are rotations of the joint, which are very controlled and highly articulated. And one more, that makes it 5. Moving on to your scapula, make a nice tight fist, elbows remain locked, arms go out at 30 degrees. Throughout doing your scapula cars, neither the arms will move up and down, nor they will go out and in. I'm going to turn around and watch the first rep. You're going to retract the scapula, keeping your elbows straight, elevate, protract, and retract. Okay? Let's do 5 on this side. So retract the scapula, elevate the scapula, which means closing the gap between ears and the shoulder. Protract, open the scapula, and depress, bring the scapula down. Third rep, up and down. Squeeze, rise, open, and down. One more. Retract, elevate, protract, and depress. Now we're going to reverse the movement. From neutral scapula, you're going to protract, elevate, retract, and depress. Protract, elbows locked, elevate, retract, and depress. Protract, elevate, retract, and depress. And make it smoother. One more rep. Now getting into shoulder cars. Again, legs are going to be hip width apart, shoulders are down. Make a fist of one hand and we're going to start the cars, shoulder cars on one up. So externally rotate your shoulder joint. Nothing in the rib cage, nothing in the spine, nothing in the hip. The only movement that happens is from the shoulder joint. You can watch 1 rep and then we do 5 together on the right and the left. You're going to start low to mid tension cars by bringing the hand in, elbows locked, of course. Take the hand all the way over. Rib cage down, do not flare. Turn around, internal rotation. And bringing the hand back in. When you bring the hand back in, make sure it is an internal rotation, which means knuckles face the thigh. And we're going to go in reverse. Extension, rotation, as well as lifting the hand up, bringing the bicep to the ear, palms facing up, but still continuing to make a fist and bring it back down. All right, let's go. External rotation, first rep. Reverse. While you do your cars, let's create that awareness. Is your spine supporting me here? If yes, you want to eliminate that because that's literally compromising the entire routine of shoulder cars. Third rep. No help from the scapula also. 4. Just moving to the sides that you can observe how the rib cage or the spine is not assisting in the movement. The shoulder is a ball and a socket joint. Only and only the shoulder does the work. Changing arm, external rotation, low to medium tension, bringing the hand inwards, elbows locked. It is okay if the hand doesn't go as high because you don't want this to happen. Rib cage down, so even if the arm goes slightly out, that's fine. We have a tendency to lead the movement not lead, rather let the energy leak from the elbow by bending the elbow. You want to make sure that the elbow is locked throughout. Imagine a cast. I guess that's the fourth one. Let's do one more. Okay, moving to elbows next. The elbow joint primarily has four functions: supination, pronation, and then flexion, extension. So we're going to combine all those four movements. I'm going to do one rep and then you can follow along. Supination is basically palms facing up. You rotate from the elbow joint, which makes the palm face down, and then you extend. Again, rotate from the elbow. It's not the wrist moving. It is literally the elbow joint moving, which means elbow pits facing forward. Flex, pronate, palms facing down, but from leader of the movement is the elbow joint. Okay, let's continue. One more. And now we're going to do the opposite. We started with flexion with palms facing towards us. We're going to now make the palms face down. So the same movement, palms are facing down, extend, supinate, bend. Pronation, down, supinate, left. Make sure the elbow is leading the movement. Okay. We're going to go for wrists next. So palms facing up, elbows tucked in. No movement in terms of rotating the elbow joint or the forearm. It is only and only the wrist. So keeping the palms facing up throughout, let's bring the tiny finger together. Drop the palm facing towards your laptop, camera, whatever device you are using. But when this happens, you don't want to turn the wrist facing each other. You still want the tops of your wrists facing towards the sky. Thumb goes across and try to have straight fingers here. Only and only the wrist joint moving. Especially when the pinkies come in together, you don't want to rotate. Palms facing up, just the wrist. Okay, let's do the other way. So thumb goes away, palms facing towards the front, and the pinkies come together. In your flexion, fingers as straight as you can totally feel it here. I'm going to be taking support of this sled here. You can do the same thing near a door frame. You're doing hip cars, or you can hold on to any window pole, but anything that kind of blocks the side of your hip. Okay? All right. You're going to place your one hand on the pelvic so that you have a feedback that the hip is not rising up. This is pelvic rising up, not hip, pelvic rising up. You want the pelvic to be neutral and facing forward. Okay. Watch one rep. I'm going to be quick here and then we can do a follow along. So you're going to bring the knee up as high as you can. This is hip flexion, hip abduction, going away from the body, but not letting the pelvic rise and maintaining that height of the knee. Now, your rotation here is going to be internal rotation, which means the foot goes out. Lead the circle with the foot. Avoid collapsing the knee down. You want to go at that height and end range without compensation from the pelvic. Continue making that circle without arch in your lower back and bring the knees together. Now we go reverse. So the hip goes back into extension. Again, no hyper arching here. Keep the rib cage down, spine neutral, pelvic doesn't rise. So hip extension, that makes your glute engage. We continue with the rotation, this time leading from the knee, and the same time keep lifting the knee up higher, coming back into abduction. Flexion, maintain the height and drop the leg down. Let's do it. 1, out, rotate. If you're taking assistance of any door frame, you want to make sure that the hip is connected and not moving away from the wall. Pelvic stays in place, it doesn't lift up higher. Just like shoulder, the hip also is a ball and a socket joint. 4.
Will it stay you 6? We have one more.
And one more, 5. Let's switch sides. Knee flexion, hip flexion, hip abduction without moving the spine behind. Keep that spine / pelvis in place. Lead with the foot. Continue making that circle and bring the knees together. Now, extension, pushing the hip behind. This is important, pushing the knee behind. Continue the circle by bringing the knee up higher. Abduction, flexion, and drop back down. Second rep. Third. Four. You can absolutely go slower than my speed. Even if you can get in 3 or 4 reps, that's a good rep range. And 5. No compromise on the form just because you want to catch up with my speed. Getting into knee cars next. Let's first do tibia external and internal rotation and then get into knee cars. So keeping the heel on the floor and really flexing the foot, you're going to take a feedback from your other 2 fingers that your shin bone / your tibia is doing the work and rotating. So external rotation of the tibia, moving the entire shin bone outside, coming back to neutral, and then internal rotation, which is usually harder for people. So let's just follow along. External rotation, neutral, internal rotation, neutral. If you've got the hang of the movement, you can progress it by lifting the heel off the floor and continue with the movement. We'll do one more here. And now we do the addition of knee cars. So you're going to externally rotate, maintain that external rotation, extend the foot. You are not going to fully straighten the knee because in straight knees, it is almost impossible to do any kind of tibia rotation. So slight bend in the knee, be very gentle, aware to bring the tibia back to neutral and then internally rotate. The movement might be smaller, but that's okay. And then bend the leg. Let's do that. External rotation. Extend the leg straight out, slight bend in the knee, tight hamstrings, it's okay. Neutral, internal rotation, bend. External, keep the foot flexed throughout. This is great for knee health. One more time. And then we do the opposite. Okay, the opposite will be internal rotation, extend, neutral, external rotation, flexion. All right, let's try that. Internal. The leader of the movement here is your tibia, your shin bone. The ankle is just coming along for the ride. So here is where the movement initiates from. Okay, let's try that on the other leg. Heel on the floor first. External rotation, neutral, internal, movement from the shin. Ankle coming along for a ride. The movement leads from your shin bone. Lifting the heel up, continue the movement. Okay, let's do knee cars now. So, external rotation, extension, neutral. Internal rotation, hardly any movement there, but that's fine. Make sure you're still moving the tibia inside, ankle coming along for the right, but avoid pointing. You still have that flex here. bend, neutral, external, extend, bend.
Yin.
One more. The other way, internal rotation first. You will also realize that when the leg is more bent, you have more range. When the leg is straight, you have lesser range. That's how our bodies are. So internal rotation, extend, neutral, external rotation, bend. I definitely tend to have more range generally on the left side of my body, and it is different for everyone. All right. We're gonna now get into ankle cars. So again, the same position, only and only moving from the ankle joint. Do not take the knee or the hip along for a ride. Imagine a wall clock. Try to target all the sides of the wall clock. The other way, being true to the reps. Change sides. The other way. Controlled, slow, and very articulated. Gonna get into toe cars. You're gonna lift all the toes up and press it down. Lift all the toes up and press it down. Lift all the toes up. Press it down. Now, lift all the toes and only drop the big toe down. 1. And lift the big toe back up. 2. All the other toes are higher up. Only your great toe, your big toe is dropping down. Push it into the floor and then lift it up. Let's do 2 more. 1 and 2. And now we're going to go for opposite. So keeping the big toe higher up throughout, you're going to drop the others and lift up. Takes a little while to get there. And lift up. Big toe remains higher up. Drop all the other 4 toes down and lift up. And now again, lift all 10 toes up. We're gonna try to spread all the 5 toes. Drop the pinky down on the floor. Then the next one, then the other one, and then the big toe. So it's almost like doing this with your toe. 1 toe at a time. Let's do that 2 more times. Thank you, everyone.